So where am I? And how did I get here? Our 4.5-hour journey across the ocean left from Ventura Harbor. In true Southern California fashion, we began our morning commute with a bit of traffic. It cleared up quickly as we passed Santa Cruz Island and then Santa Rosa Island, both of which I've explored on other days, kayaking and hiking and even snorkeling. But today is my first time backpacking on San Miguel Island, the most rugged island in Channel Islands National Park, which is finally just now coming into view. That's my mom. She's coming with me again on another epic adventure, which begins before you even hit the beach at San Miguel Island. We gotta hike all the way up there to the campground. We've made it! I know. Check out our pile of gear. This is our pile here. And then Chuck and Holly's pile, but they get to go to the ranger station. We are gonna have to lug all of our stuff up to the campsite along with 40 pounds of water on a second trip. So we made it to San Miguel Island. And there goes the boat. Not coming back for another 5 days. So our adventure on San Miguel Island begins by crossing the dunes and starting up on the trail to the campground. It's the only trail you're allowed to go on without a naturalist with you, a ranger with you. Legend has it there's unexploded ordnances from Navy testing out here, so you have to stay on trails with a naturalist at all times, and you have to bring in all your water. So the first thing we have to do is hike just under a mile, almost straight uphill to the campground, which is on top of the island. And then we're gonna do it all over again with all of our 40 pounds of water for the next 5 days. It's quite the beautiful landscape, but definitely takes a bit of work. This trail has actually been washed out for the last 2 years. And so this year, 2025, is the first year it's really opened up to the public again. Allowed visitors to come here because really the only access on the island is this trail up to the campground. So the island is so sedimentary and erosive that it just washes out so easily whenever we get a really heavy rain year. These are all giant coreopsis, all these flowers that are dead and look like sticks right now. They're dormant. They bloom in like April. But we don't come out here in April, so too bad of weather. There goes our boat. It's not gonna be another boat here for 5 days. It's Monday, next boat comes on Friday. There's a lot of island to explore between now and then. Starting with all these really pretty pink flowered buckwheat, some dudleya, a bunch of endemic plants. Very cool. Also, the Spanish explorer Cabrillo died here. He was the first European to explore California. The site was recommended to us by our friend, and since we are the only ones staying out here in the campground for the next 5 days. The entire time we're here, we get to pick. And that is a nice view. So that was our first and hopefully only tent setup of the trip. as long as it holds up. We're supposed to be forecasted to have pretty sustained like 15 to 20 mile an hour winds for the next couple days starting this evening. Gusts up to I think 35 or something. So our tent taking advantage of the nice calm weather while we can to really stake it down and get it wind protected so that if it comes up our tent doesn't get ripped to shreds and we have nowhere to sleep for the next 5 days. See the other islands that way? That one's Santa Rosa. Off on run number 2 to go get the water. This cool rock inside of the other rock. Nice. So what if you have to deal with some wind? How often do you get to walk along a white sand beach with nobody else on it in California? It's just at the end of Western Gull and California brown pelican nesting season. I was like right in the middle of it when I did the Anacapa kayaking day. Which is linked right up here, or right there somewhere. And now they're all fledged, and so they're out here just chilling, and there's some adults in the group too, but they've definitely left Anacapa Island and the places that they nest, and they're just chilling on the beaches, doing their thing. Pretty graceful. Yeah, check it out. So we're at the end of the beach here at Kyler Harbor, at least where we can get to easily, but check it out. There's like water dripping in the mouth of this cave here. Considering there's not much fresh water on this island, it's probably super salty and not really drinkable, but like that's really cool. Unfortunately, that's all invasive ice plant hanging down, but pretty cool. Oh, I'm gonna pick up my shoes so the gulls don't do anything with them. It's a cave. Ah, it's pretty good size.
Yeah, very small.
There's so many feathers in here. Ow! Watch where you're going.
Well, look at how far back it goes.
Oh wow, it keeps going.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, I might just have to go through there. But I'm taking my backpack off. Going in with the headlamp. I feel like I'm at the start of one of Magnus's videos, and that's really funny because this is nothing like that. Oh yeah, this is like. Let me turn this on the wide angle. There's water dripping from up there. That's where I came from. It's so cool. Ouch. My thumb. Wow. Can't even reach the ceiling. It's like probably a good 12 feet tall.
Way the heck up there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That is an amazing picture. Hang on one second.
This is an amazing picture. It's cool. We're gonna eat a snack. Enjoy late afternoon, evening here. Round 2. I was like, how fast can I do this? At least I think we started at 9. Might have started at 6. But anyway, 15 to 20 minutes. Like 20 minutes if we're like working. Good. first sunset on San Miguel Island. There's the campground down there. The mainland in the background, and Santa Cruz and Santa Rosa Islands over there. And my hair all over the place right here. Good night. Good morning. So today I think the objective is to hike to Cardwell Point. I think there's 3 main points to hike to on this island, and all of which you have to be with a naturalist. It's only like 6 miles round trip. Yeah, so we're right here right now. I think we're hiking out to Cardwell Point today, Harris Point tomorrow, and then probably Point Bennett all the way out here, which is the most popular hike here, on Thursday when the weather's super nice, because that's long. Each one of these is like 6 miles round trip. This one I think is like 16, maybe 16 miles round trip. Anyway, this is really cool because this is where all the pinnipeds all breed out on the end there. And that's what San Miguel Island's known for, is the northern elephant seal and the California sea lions and the northern fur seals, Guadalupe fur seals, all breeding out there on the end of San Miguel, which is kind of like the furthest west area in the national park. So it's pretty cool and looking forward to seeing it. Now that we're up here, it's a fairly flat hike, all the hikes up here, but yeah, the hardest hike was just getting up to the campground yesterday twice. Sun's basically up now and about time to get going. And we're off. We just met up with Holly and Chuck, who are gonna lead us on our hike today. The wind is blowing at 29 at the moment, potentially miles per hour, I don't know, gusting to like 35, and we're gonna be walking. The wind's at our backs, which is making it easy right now, but I think we're a little bit more protected down here on Point Cardwell because we're on the leeward side of the island and we're going downhill a little bit.
That wave I was telling you about? Out there. I looked at out first. We just had a rock ram that jumped up right there.
Cardwell Point. There's a bunch of sea lions. Some of them are surfing. And we just saw 2 juvenile bald eagles fly past. So we'll see if we can see them because they kind of went back toward this beach here.
Like the least amount of seals a sea lion's ever seen here.
Sea lion, elephant seal way up there.
1 elephant seal.
Yeah, lots of sea lions.
All around that one. Right behind us.
Right behind us.
No tag.
Well, that was a bald eagle. Yeah, it's literally, I'm on 30 seconds recording.
So the 2 gulls took off over there from the bluff.
And that's what gave away. That was amazing. That's the closest I've ever seen an eagle, ever.
I got a little chilly sitting there. We're gonna head back up the trail and go to a different place called Cliff Point. There's some of the pens from when they were doing the captive breeding program recovering the island fox populations here on San Miguel Island back in the early 2000s. The island fox population has now completely recovered, and it was the quickest recovery of an endangered species in the history of the Endangered Species Program. Not sure if you can tell with this windscreen on, but the wind's definitely picked up. It feels like I'm skydiving. That's how windy it feels at the moment. Surprised my cheeks aren't flapping. It's supposed to be like this for the next 24 hours. With this type of weather, it's honestly pretty incredible that anything can survive here with the salt and the wind and the lack of water, let alone thrive here like the island foxes have for thousands of years. I mean, it hasn't always been the case, as can be seen by these captive breeding pens behind me, but that's only super recent. They were only put on the endangered species list in 2004. Surprise, surprise, it was because of us. We didn't hunt them or anything, but they started getting eaten by an invasive species called the golden eagle that aren't native to these islands. Usually scared away by bald eagles, which are native to the islands, which we saw earlier. But what happened was back in the 50s and 60s, we were using DDT. I'm sure some of you guys have heard of it. DDT is a pesticide on our crops on the mainland. And sorry if I'm yelling. I'm not sure how good this thing works, but my ears are just full of wind. But yeah, we're using this pesticide called DDT on the mainland, where it would wash into the ocean through runoff, as everything does when you're in a coastal community, and eventually it gets into the fish populations, and the bald eagles eat the fish. And so what happened was it was causing eggshell thinning in the bald eagle populations, and they went locally extinct off the islands by the 1970s. And so golden eagles moved in. Now, golden eagles eat land mammals, like the island foxes. There's not a lot of island foxes compared to how much golden eagles can eat. But they were lured over here by the over 6,000 sheep that ranchers had on the islands here. But when we removed the sheep from the island, not only did the sheep cause a lot of overgrazing and increased erosion, they also attracted the golden eagles over, which started eating the island foxes. And I believe on this island, the island fox population got down to like 15 individuals, which is insane. So the first thing that had to be done was ban DDT. The second thing that had to be done was remove the livestock to stop getting golden eagles here. The third thing was the captive breeding program so that the island foxes weren't getting picked off by the golden eagles. The fourth thing was reintroducing bald eagles to the islands. And all of that full circle, the island fox population, which was, this is back in the 90s, but the island fox population wasn't put on the endangered species list officially until 2004, but within 10 years of being on the endangered species list, they had a complete recovery. So it just goes to show that we humans can really screw things up. We can really fix things like our mistakes that we've made in the past too. And the Channel Islands are just one testament to that. And to be honest, this whole thing was caused by something on the mainland, not anything out here. Like, people are always really good at taking care of their wild spaces while they're in them. But as we have seen by the balloons up in the Sierras and and the other islands, and mylar balloons just getting released into the atmosphere, right? Like, it's the decisions we make on the mainland that most affect places like this. So, like DDT, like, it's the choices we make at home in coastal communities and around the world that affect our oceans and our natural spaces the most. People pick up trash well, but most of the trash that ends up on this island washes in from the ocean, from the Great Pacific Garbage Patch in the Gyre out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. So, like, if we just a little bit more mindful, a little bit, in the decisions we make at home, then we can have a huge impact on our natural spaces, whether it be these isolated islands 30 miles from the mainland or whatever natural spaces are near you. You can have an impact just with the small choices that you make at home. So I don't know, the Channel Islands are a really great place to kind of showcase that. But thanks for coming to my TED Talk. All right, rolling back into camp now. That was a nice hike.
Great hike.
It's a lot less windy over here, I will say. It's actually not bad over here at camp. But you can tell it's still windy because up there the clouds are still moving really fast. We're gonna head to the ranger station. I'm gonna see what else I can learn from the books they have up there and the PhD theses and the everything. See how much more I can learn about San Miguel. All right, we are headed back to camp after a ranger housing movie night where we watched Hauser's California Gold San Miguel Island special. And how many things have been discovered since then. But it's really fun to be standing in the same place as Hauser. I remember watching that as a kid, and then yeah, now we're here. That rounds out our second day on San Miguel Island. The winds died down a little bit since last night. We even saw a little island fox when I was opening the tent to look at the sunrise, so that was cool. Here's our third day on San Miguel. Well done. Well, we're all packed up and we're ready for our objective for the day, Harris Point. We're gonna go meet up with Holly at 8. It's like 7:35 right now. It's a little bit foggier this morning. Not really above us, but definitely kind of back behind us here. Yeah, the birds are active. It's a little bit less windy. It died a little bit more than I thought it was going to, which means you can actually hear the birds. And also, throughout the night we could hear the sea lions, and I think the closest point is like a mile away over where we hiked yesterday, back at like Crook Point there, but we could hear them barking all night. Really faintly though. This is the final push up to the top of the hill at Lester Point, overlooking Harris Point, the end, the terminus of our hike today. It's now 12:40. We've been out here for 2 hours or so, maybe 2.5 hours, just hanging out, eating some lunch, and we're gonna start making our way back to camp. Should be in there, I don't know, 1:30-ish, maybe 2. But it's really protected up here, surprisingly, considering this is like the wind is coming straight on shore. But you can almost not feel it when you're sitting down here below the rock. Let's add San Miguel Island to the list of places we found mylar balloons. If you've heard my rant about mylar balloons in my backpacking and Sequoia National Park video, you'll know that I don't like them for many reasons. Other than they're a useless piece of single-use plastic that's toxic to the environment, and many other reasons. They're like little pom-poms, a little pink buckwheat. So we're back to the Kyler Harbor Overlook, and we got dropped off from the skiff right there in front of that rock, and we hiked up to the campground, which is like right there, and the ranger station is right over there somewhere, and we just have to cross through Night Ever Canyon in order to get back, but we're within about a mile. And yeah, I really like this hike. The vegetation's been really outstanding. Like, there's a lot of flowers in bloom even in late August, so it's pretty cool. Definitely a fan. Harris Point. They just did some trail work, so we came through that way, which is the new trail. This is the old trail, and it goes right along the edge of the cliff, and the erosion is just taking it. So they're doing their best to keep people from falling off a cliff. So there's always trail work being done out here by park employees and volunteers. So, and it's necessary because things change on this island, especially. They change every single year, and the trails would get overgrown, and half of them would be falling off cliffs. So. It's like a little flower garden. Oh, I want to get up to the fuchsia. Oh my gosh. So pretty. Oh, look at that whole field of fuchsia. Oh, my hat's in the way. Whoa. So pretty. It's because we're getting down into the canyon here, into Night Ever Canyon. And there's a natural spring right up the way. So we've just been chilling out here in the sun for like, oh, like an hour and a half. Just enjoying this nice,
Beautiful day.
beautiful day. The wind is kind of perfect with how warm it is at the moment. I brought my sleeping pad out. It's on a little field trip to the picnic table. I think we're gonna, it's like 4:15 now, so we're probably gonna grab some food and head up to the ranger station in a little bit once it gets a little cooler. Had quite a bit of sun, and I think my skin's a little over it. And tomorrow we're gonna be outside all day hiking to Point Bennett, which I think is like a 15-mile round trip hike. So it's gonna be lots of time in the sun and out exposed and walking and stuff. So might take some cover for today. So we're checking out a plant guide made by a botanist that knows everything about all the plants, so we can try to see what some of the plants I know most of the plants, but I want to try to see some of the plants that I don't know and identify them. Hey, I just turned my video on. It's been real here in the visitor center. But as you can see, it's now nighttime, and it's time to go out into the 25-mile-an-hour windy unknown and go back to camp. All right, I'm walking to camp. Good night. Good morning. The wind stopped. It's almost 7 a.m. 6:52. At 7 a.m. I gotta get permits for Big Pine Lakes Trail. to go backpacking in 2 weeks somewhere else. So I'm quickly jaunting up to the visitor center with my phone and my phone charger so I can log on to rec.gov and hopefully get some permits for me and Luke because they have Wi-Fi. Today we're hiking like 16 miles round trip or something to Point Bennett. We've gotten notifications on our phones for an extreme heat wave passing through Southern California, where inland is supposed to be like 110 degrees. But hopefully the island stays a nice 75 since there's no wind. Permits. Well, I didn't get the permits. By the time I scroll down, all 10 permits were booked. Well, it said 10. Scroll down, push book. And then it said, somebody's already bought them. So I got Kearsarge as a backup. I was trying to go to Big Pine Lakes North Fork, but I'll keep an eye out. Kearsarge is a lot more challenging. I'm not really sure which lakes to go to there. But anyway, we got something. Anyway, I'm gonna wander back down to camp and get my stuff ready for the hike today. We do have to summit the highest peak on San Miguel Island, which stands at about 830 feet. So anyway, I think it'll be okay. Definitely better than inland California. That's literally 110 degrees right now. At least the wind picks up in the afternoon, so the way back will be a little bit less sweaty. And we're off. Passing one of the tallest points on the island. The other one is over there, and we're going over that too.
Wow, that is so cool. Has the input of calcium carbonate from mollusks from the marine environment. So it needs the calcium carbonate to cement the sand around the dead trunks and roots to form this caliche.
Ooh, the wind died and all of the bugs have woken up because they haven't been able to fly in like 4 days, I don't know. They're all stretching their wings, so we're gonna keep moving. We're at the highest point we're gonna go to today, but we're a little under halfway to our destination, which is way out there at the very end. Finally, there's the NOAA research station here to monitor the pinnipeds. San Miguel Research Station. And look at that view from dining room table. Live out here for like a summer at a time. They just left a couple weeks ago, but they're out here studying the pinnipeds, which are the seals and sea lions. And so out here we actually get 6 different species of pinnipeds, but the main ones that breed here are the California sea lions, which we've already seen, the northern elephant seals, which we've already seen, but then also northern fur seals and Guadalupe fur seals. The northern fur seals is as far south as they go to breed, so it's pretty cool, and there's usually like thousands of animals out there on the beach. You can already hear the like cacophony of noise coming from the beach down below. I'll turn up the volume so you can maybe hear what I'm hearing. That's what we came here for. It's all the pinnipeds. Also the view. If you can see, there are literal fur seals all the way in right there. There's a little group of them right around there. And it's just making me laugh. There's so many of them. Look at this northern island mallow. That's so cool. There's a ton of fur seals. Mostly northern fur seals. Only a couple elephant seals and a lot of California sea lions. We're gonna spend quite a bit of time here, I think.
Well, welcome to Point Bennett, one of the largest concentrations of seals and sea lions in the world. And here we are on San Miguel Island, part of the Channel Islands National Park, one of the least visited national parks. And within the Channel Islands National Park, this is one of the least visited overlooks because we had to hike 7 miles one way to get out here. And just camping out on San Miguel is always an adventure. But you make it out here, and for the few hundred people a year that camp out here and come out to Point Bennett, it pretty much takes your breath away of being able to see thousands of California sea lions, northern fur seals. We've got one young elephant seal down here. They'll start arriving back in the hundreds and thousands over the next a couple months when the juveniles come ashore to molt in the late summer and early fall. But Point Bennett here, to have both northern fur seals and California sea lions sharing the same beach is pretty unique. These northern fur seals are more commonly found up in the Cardwell Islands in Alaska, but we do have 2 breeding colonies in the lower 48 off the Farallon Islands, and then here as far south as San Miguel Island. And what's really cool about Point Bennett, we occasionally see the Guadalupe fur seal that come up from Mexico. So that just gives you an example of this overlap of biodiversity, really of all marine wildlife here in the Channel Islands. But the Guadalupe fur seals coming up from the south and the northern fur seals coming down from the north that overlap right here on San Miguel Island. So very special. And the fact that we have 30,000 animals that could haul out here. It just is an indication on how healthy the ocean is around to support such a large breeding colony of seals and sea lions. The northern elephant seals, northern fur seals, California sea lions, harbor seals, Guadalupe fur seals, and occasionally we could also see a stellar sea lion. So 6 different species of seals and sea lions have all been seen here and on this beach here at Point Bennett, and really the only place in the world to have 6 different species of pinnipeds in one location. So really special, very important to keep it protected the way that it is today. The northern fur seal population has fluctuated and has been on the decline, especially up in the Gulf of Alaska and Alaska. And they're very susceptible to a changing ocean and a warming ocean. These California sea lions are just great indicator species. Their population's doing really well. Some people say too well, but we do have these important apex predators swimming around in the ocean right out here. We probably don't see the dorsal fins, but there's no doubt there's white sharks in these waters here. And occasionally orcas or killer whales are seen here close to Point Bennett. So really important to have the predators that help keep the prey population in check and balance. But we also are looking down on a beach with dozens of dead fur seal pups. So just part of the circle of life out here. The western gulls are feeding on one right now. So there's really no waste in nature. And this is a very important research spot for the NOAA biologists that spend much of the summer out here, and a lot of really important research that's been conducted here at Point Bennett really for over 40 years, 50 years. So that long-term data is important to have an understanding of a baseline, so then we could better measure a change in an ecosystem by looking at the fluctuation within the pinniped populations. And they definitely fluctuate, especially in the warmer years of El Nino events, or the warm blob that we had about 10 years ago. It was a really high pup mortality out here. So it just shows you how closely connected, of course, they are to the ocean, with the fur seals swimming further offshore in deeper depths, looking for their favorite prey, like lanternfish and more deep water fish. California sea lions forage within the kelp forest right offshore there. And then our elephant seals will swim as far offshore, hundreds if not thousands of miles, especially the adult males will go as far north as the Gulf of Alaska. And some of the first tracking of northern elephant seals was done right here on San Miguel Island back in the 70s. So just really important research, really fun for us as visitors to sit on the bluff above with no disturbance to the animals. They don't know we're here. And to really soak in the sights, the sounds, the smells of how important it is to keep these places wild for the beautiful wildlife, and definitely part of the wilderness here in Southern California. One little one here again.
It's crazy how the tallest point on San Miguel Island is basically just a giant sand dune. We made it back. Exactly 6 miles from the NOAA research station out at Point Bennett and 6.75 from the viewpoint. Which means round trip, that was 13.5 miles, 13 and a half. Yeah,
Maybe 14.
it's pretty good. It's time to hang out and de-sweat and drink my warm liquid IV and recover, and then go back to camp and eat some dinner and enjoy the fact that that was our last hike, unless you count the hike back down to the beach tomorrow, of this whole trip. We can say we've seen every corner of the island. I think altogether it was 27 or 28 miles of walking over the past 3 days, which is pretty substantial, even though we are at sea level. This is our last evening on San Miguel Island, and I'm gonna go enjoy it down in the campground, eat some dinner. So enjoy the sunset. We made it to day 5. Sounds that we're listening to waking up are really funny. But anyway, the objective today is to go down and have a beach day. We haven't been down to the beach since the first day, 5 days ago. But there's no wind and there's no fog, which is really rare for San Miguel. So we're gonna go enjoy a morning on the beach before we get picked up by the boat. Time to pack up. We're out, and we're headed back down to the beach with all of our stuff, minus the water. I don't know if you can see that, but that is fog that is quickly overtaking the island. Hope we get a little bit of sun down at the beach before it rolls in. This is what happens on hot days on the mainland. Whoa, look at all the ravens. The fog is the reason that flowers bloom year-round in canyons like this, like Night Ever, and canyons throughout the Channel Islands National Park, because these hot days on the mainland cause this fog that rolls up through the canyons, and that's how they get most of their moisture in an otherwise very dry climate. And so you get flowers blooming year-round that, I mean, even on this island specifically, like, you get flowers blooming year-round that don't even bloom on the other islands because of the amount of fog that we get out here, which is pretty cool. Apparently during the fall, elephant seals love to swim in that little pool. Wow. Look at all the little fox prints. Anyway, they used elephant seal fur to stabilize it. And no, they didn't hunt the elephant seals. Elephant seals do a round trip migration from Alaska and back twice every year. Once to have their babies and breed, and the other one to molt. And so they find a lot of elephant seal fur on the beaches. So apparently it's a really useful dune stabilizer. So you can see all of it in here. This is all elephant seal fur. Pretty funny. Anyway, it looks sunny for now. So I think I'm gonna go for a swim. So that's how I got here. Day 5. On the beach in Kyler Harbor. With my mom. Another epic adventure in our wake. Currently waiting for our ride, but kinda hoping it's running late. I think we're still in California. It's so awesome that places like this are protected, so that we have beautiful places like this to enjoy without houses all over them. Here's our boat coming to collect us off an island that we're definitely not ready to leave. 5 days is a long time to camp on a remote island. San Miguel Island is wild and so windy, like really windy. But something in the sprawling sand dunes, midnight sea lion howls, and vibrant island sunsets makes you want to stay just a little bit longer.
Oh yeah.
Woo! Woohoo!
Right.
You made it!
Here I go. Good job.
So you might recognize Jackie here from climbing Birdland with me, or maybe you recognize Felicia from our backpacking trip to Pear Lake in Sequoia National Park. You could say my friends are pretty cool. But you should definitely check out those videos next, and comment below with where you think we should go on our next adventure.